you think about all these videos on TikTok with Bigfoot?
I like.
How does he get away with some of these racist comments that he makes?
I don't know, maybe because he's like in a cultural no man's land. Nobody wants to own up to him, so they can't say they overly identify with him, or easily represented of them, or something like that. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool that they have like I don't know. I think a country that actually allows a little bit of humor and a little bit of people being offended. I mean, yeah, I don't see how you can get around it and
But
have
do
a
you
free
think
society.
TikTok's like going back to the wild, wild west of the internet like it used to be?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, from what I've
When
seen,
each side has its own realm, if you wanna venture to the other side, and
I think so because I think it just more and more stuff I've seen coming out of there. I mean, it's like I'm a person who's very blunt and very like a very outspoken, and
well,
that's oh my god, this is
even the Taco Bell Chihuahua was making a comeback on TikTok. The Yo Quiero Taco Bell, do you
yeah.
remember?
It's like yeah, Taco Bell, or yeah,
Well, the
Taco
only
Bell.
thing is he keeps on getting arrested by ICE.
Ice. Yeah, it'd be hard for him to carry papers. Yeah, what are you going to show him up as bum? I just no. I think it's like I think a society. It's a very pressure valve. I mean, I'm not saying be crass,
But
be vulgar all
but
the
do you
time,
think
but
the other day when Trump said what he said about Israel and Iran acting like little babies, that released a lot of pressure with him cussing and actually using the word fuck?
yeah, I do. I really believe that because I mean, it's basically I think of so many times, and here's a man who's a multi-billionaire, and everybody thinks he's going to be trying to use high fluent language. He can speak to people on an average basis, and that crassness, and it is crass. I mean, I'm not going to deny that, but all they try to high
But he's
fluent,
speaking like the average person
right?
speaks.
And I think what's ironic is like he is a billionaire, but when he was running, all the times he's running, all three times, he resonated better with the working class than Hillary Clinton, who allegedly was from that background, which is a little BS. She really wasn't.
But
I
it's
think
been just like I've been in the when I've been in the army. Some of the best leaders have been from money. They've been from money. They were West Point grads, different things, but they just were genuine people,
right.
and they were the best leaders. The same thing. They didn't even have to. Some of my leaders were come from they were poor,
Yeah.
and they couldn't. I mean, some of them couldn't even read, but they knew what they were supposed to be doing, and they knew how to lead men.
See, that's exactly right. Everybody, see, I like a highbrow leader sometimes, but I mean, this guy, I mean, what the situation requires now, he shows his frustration because I mean, you've heard me go off because I thought Trump was going to go start in a war in earnest for Israel because I'm getting tired of that trend. I'm tired of that process. When he basically did the bombing, then afterwards he said what he did say. He redeemed himself quite a bit in
But the
my
thing
eyes.
is, also he's ripped that scab off for
Yeah,
Israel
yeah,
and uncovered a lot. I mean, we've been saying it all along about APAC and why are we giving so much money to Israel? And then for Ted Cruz, he looked like an idiot when he was trying to quote a Sunday school Bible verse that's not even there.
no, it's like, well, I mean, part of it exists, but the name of those part of the person who was actually being blessed,
Well, they call it
they changed it.
but they call it the Old Testament for a reason,
Right, it's Old
because
Testament.
it's the Old
Right,
Testament. We have a New Testament and a New Covenant.
right, and it's like, and it's the thing is, everybody I talk to who supports Israel always say quotes that verse from that verse from Genesis 12, and it's like you're not looking at full context. It doesn't say Abraham was the progenitor of the people who become Jewish later. It wasn't Israel. Israel came much later. Okay, so I mean to say to lock them in and the modern state of Israel, does the country disappeared 1,000 years, 1,500, 2,000 years? Poof, it reappears, and now that's the same Israel. That's
But
full of crap.
some would argue, was it really there in the first place?
Well, I believe it was there. I mean, I think every society will embellish upon their importance and everything else. And I mean, but one thing I do have to give the people who recorded the Bible, the people, the events in the Bible, they actually get warts and all. They covered all warts and all, and that didn't happen in most of the countries of the people around them. When their leaders screwed up, you didn't hear about it. When the leaders of the Israel screwed up, they did. But again, Israel came much later after the time of Abraham.
And people don't want to admit it. When it comes down to it, we get a lot of our history from the Bible.
Oh yeah, we do.
The world got a lot of history from the Bible and the writings. Not everything made it into the Bible,
Right.
all the writings, but there's still scholars who go through everything.
Well, even if they're trying to react against it, it's a motivator for it's a recording enough so they're actually trying to deflect it or try to diffuse it or whatever. And even that cause, I mean, every time I've seen people go to the try to destroy the Bible's historical accuracy, usually comes around what comes back like they're kind of they're not as intense about it. They can't be as intense because it falls largely flat.
I mean, to write it off as a bunch of made up stories is BS.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's bullshit.
well, it's like
You can't.
no, you can't because okay, well, the same people say you can do that, write it off as BS. We'll also look at the other historical writers, Herodotus, and all these other, all the historians and stuff like that, and take them. And actually, there's more existent works, from the New Testament, copies in the New Testament, or what we call the
But
New
there's
Testament,
even writings of writings of writings,
right? That has reference to it.
about the Bible,
Right.
from people. What I'm saying is, there's other people other than the people that were writing in the Bible that you can go back to, that were writing at the same time about the same thing.
What extra biblical? Yeah, extra biblical outside the Bible itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot. Tacitus. I mean, Tacitus was not a fan of the Christian movement. Neither were a lot of the historians, basically, especially the Romans and Greeks, like all those people. They were aware their upstarts were causing problems in our empire, especially the Romans, because that's when the time of Christ's teachings came about. Being pushed out to the world. But no, it's historical accuracy. They can't make that charge. I mean, you ever heard of Bart Ehrman? Used to be he's a teacher of New Testament theology, I think, in one of the major colleges. He was a believer, now he's a disbeliever, but even he says the historical accuracy and recordings about Jesus Christ being in existence is irrefutable.
But I mean, if you take, well, not saying, even if you were to set Jesus Christ to the side and just read the rest of the historical
right.
things that the Bible, that the people were writing about in the Bible, it's I don't know, amazing. It's a lot of information.
You see, that's the reason why I always impressed by it. Even as I was going to Sunday school, like I said, I never read. I was really intense in 13, 12, 14 years old. I was actually in high school, and I just started reading the Bible from cover to cover. No interpretations being thrown at me. I just read it. I never got the interpretation. The dispensationalists put on top of it. I thought when I saw that, I'm sitting there, where are you guys getting all these maps and these timelines? Where are you getting this?
They're making it up. Just like we were talking about what Peter said about, well, you can quote it better
about the women. He said about women staying remaining silent in churches, and yeah, it's
and revisionist trying to rewrite it that he was being sarcastic.
Yes,
by saying that he didn't mean what. Yes, he did mean what he said. But I'm not saying that women we're modernized.
Right.
It's a whole different world now.
But
you can't argue what the man wrote down, put pen to paper.
Well, see, years ago, I was going to these objectivist meetings, and the objectivists are like, for followers of Ayn Rand. And this one guy was a presenter. He used to hold the meetings in his house in Birmingham, Michigan. And he did a presentation. He was Jewish. He had lived in Israel and stuff. But he did a presentation about, even though if we look at today's standards, like, even the Old Testament standards of if we try to judge by the modern standards, it looks oppressive of women. But if you can put that in contrast or a comparison to the other societies around them, they're much more what we call enlightened.
And they were protected.
They were protected.
That's what they were trying to do.
Right.
Protect women.
Right, because it's acknowledgement.
Men are nasty.
Well, men are nasty, and the physical strength of males is indisputably much better and stronger than females on the average. So I mean, it's absurdity to think that all males are here just to oppress females. I think they're ones inserting their modern day, translation of events into the past. I don't see that. I don't think you should do that. Even if it was, you have to just look at a society and a way they recorded themselves, and you can't change it. So why sit there and try to deride it? You just say we're no longer that way, but why try to deride it? I think it's absurd,
Because that's what people do. I mean, what religion is the most attacked religion in the world?
Christian. You don't see
what are atheists? They're atheists, but against Christianity.
They don't try to.
They don't go. They never go after the Muslims. They never go after the Jews.
No,
it's always the Christian.
It's actually, well, even Barack Obama one time when he was trying to mock Christians, he goes, "They say we want to base the Christians, the world upon the Bible. Which part of the Bible? The part where you can stone your gay son, and all the stuff he was referencing. All you can't wear clothing of mixed fabric, and all the stuff he was citing were Mosaic laws, not Christian laws. And if you read it in context, which he never did,
explain what a
Mosaic laws, the laws of Moses. As it came about of Moses, the leader who led them out of Egypt. They laid down the laws, and that's what the modern day rabbinic Judaism is based upon, is the reinterpretation of the Mosaic law. But he wouldn't attack a Jewish person saying that. He goes after Christians who disregard that because they know that's part of the Older Testament we no longer are part of. And it says that. I mean, the Ten Commandments are still valid. They pre-exist before the ten. I mean, before the that was a way before there was already in place the Ten Commandments in in the fledgling stages prior to Moses' time. Okay, there was. So I mean, these people just but he attacked the Christians and mocked them. He's just I got I'm self that smugness of his always got to me. And but I felt like saying right when he said that when I saw him recording the side, I said, "Oh, why don't you go after your Jewish donors saying that, mocking them because that's from their books." Okay, but he didn't. You notice that?
No, yeah.
No, you're right. Your point. You don't hear Shinto's under attack. Buddhists. I mean, Buddha. Of course, for Buddhists don't go around doing stuff that anybody. They're not on the world
But
stage.
Christians don't either.
No,
What
not
do
to,
Christians do?
the bulk of Christians don't do it. They go to church. They live very flawed lives like everybody else, and that's about it. But no, they want to attack them. I mean, and another thing is too, if there wasn't something to the truth of it, why these people so vehemently charged up with the desire to want to attack people? Okay, I mean, okay, where the ideas of social welfare come from? That was always tribal, but let's face it, we're no longer a tribal group
But it
of
was
people.
always the church's responsibility to take care of the poor, sick, and infirm.
Right. So that was a Christian. That was a Christian concept. Like I said, other groups had it, but you had to be within that group. It wasn't expandable to the rest of the world around you. It wasn't. Okay. I mean, they feared everybody outside. Okay. Even the Old Testament shows that you taught that you're supposed to be very decent to the people who live amongst you, but they also had to follow your rules. Okay. People say that too. Like they try to use that against immigration laws. You have the Jewish people at the time when their land was established had laws, and the people who are
Well,
sojourners had
okay,
to follow them.
bringing it back. They're finding they found tools from Europe in California.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
From early man that shows that white people were in the United States before anybody else.
See, that's
So we were the indigenous people here,
I mean, everybody.
according to the anthropologists.
Yeah, well, let's face it. I mean, there were one. Okay, if you also the Pangea, the not Pangea, the idea of being Pangea is the Virgin Mary and the Orthodox, but the whole idea of this big, all the form of the world is formed together, together, and they drifting apart. That's proven by geological, these things, like evidence, as well as if you look at distribution of like the camel. We don't find camels, domestically here in the United States, but they theorize because of the evidence they found in the earth that they actually originated here, went to those other places, then these ones died off, those other ones in other countries, were able to
But what I'm
survive.
saying is, like I said, they're finding anthropologists are finding the Europeans were here before the Indians,
You're right.
or what we refer to as Indians.
Well,
So isn't this our land,
it's like just as
and it was
much.
taken away by the Indians?
Well, you saw that video clip from that old movie. I like to find the movie to post it, but it was actually the cavalrymen sitting down with the Indian chief. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, but the point he was making, that was fictionalized, but the point he was making was accurate. The tribes of people in that, North America fought against each other. The people we consider to be the essential southwestern India, the Apache, were actually from the area up Canada and Alaska.
They came down.
They came downward, which proves gives
And
credence.
they annihilated people and took whole races of people out.
Yeah, see, they did that. They well, the
But it was
Dakota
okay
Indians.
that they did it.
Right. See, the thing is, they didn't have the means to do it
Well, they did
effectively.
they did it in a spiritual way.
Yeah, I guess they made it more. See, to me, it's like murder is murder, and the thing is, human history is primarily warfare. I mean, all the other stuff that people study who enjoy, like women's suffrage movement, civil rights
But
movement.
think about everything, especially in this state. Everything. You go to Mackinac City, it's nothing but death
Yeah,
and killing.
that's all it is.
That's all the Fort Mackinac. The whole thing is the net. Well, I'm sure they updated the narration since the 1970s to make it more feel good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the thing is, you can't sugarcoat humanity. If you want to be a historian,
But this is a murderous state.
this is a murderous state. I mean, the thing is, everybody has that. I mean, my estimation of Europe, this is everywhere you trod in Europe. If you just look at the historical record, at some point was a site for a battle, a slaughter, a manslaughter, a
Especially
massacre.
here in Michigan.
Oh yeah,
A
Michigan. Oh
lot
yeah,
of Indians. I mean, Indians killing other Indians,
yeah.
not just for indigenous people. Why are they really indigenous? But
Well,
I guess that's what you're supposed to say,
yeah,
right?
indigenous or I guess to see we what they have a tendency to narrow define the term aboriginal, but that could be applied to anybody who existed before arrival of a newer group, I guess. But the Aborigines
But what
usually,
I'm saying is there's so many battles.
yeah.
There's battles right around where we are right here,
Oh,
around the river.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say just down the river from where we're at now, or upriver actually.
We're
So
in Flint, Michigan, by the way.
by the Hurley Medical Center, there was a collection of skeletal remains from Native Americans, and that's where it was site of a battle. So I mean, it's they have this thing that they all just say, "Oh, I'm going through your land." Oh, fine, brother, come on. No, that wasn't the case. Okay, and then
No, I'm gonna kill you.
another movie that came out during just in the '90s when Dancing with Wolves came out. That there was a French Canadian production called Black Robe. I have it on DVD if you ever want to watch
I've
it.
seen it.
Yeah, and it shows what happened in Canada with the native, what they call they call the First Nations up there, and between them and the French trade, they were brutal to each other. Okay, they weren't like they weren't. Some of them were more enlightened and they had different values. Other ones didn't hold the same values. I mean, if you want to know,
Well, I
understand,
mean, it was kill or be killed in a lot of
yeah,
situations. I mean, there's only so many resources in the area that they do that.
right? It's
You
just
don't want somebody coming and killing your deer or eating your food.
exactly. I mean, when you're going to have a long, bitter winter ahead of you, and you only have so much food for your group, you want that to be in place. You don't want to try to
Then you're
share.
going to protect it.
You want to protect it. I mean, it's we think we should be evolve, if you want to use that term, it's better than that. We're not. We're not any different. Look at oil. We want everybody else from other industrialized nations wants the oil more or the petroleum more than the countries that are not developed as much. But as soon as they get developed, they have a need for it too. They want it, and they're clamoring for it, and they're willing to pay for it. So that jacks up the price that everybody's got to pay. It's like supply and demand. So I mean, no, the brutality of humans is like you got to look at it as a historian. You can't be easily shocked if you want to look in
But
history.
every religious book has brutality in
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. The Quran, the Indian writings like Mahabharata or something like that. Basically I've read some of that, and
And
basically,
some of their religious what's the word I'm looking for? Hierarchy actually took part in these
oh yeah, I
brutalities.
mean it's true. I mean they used to have priests of other nations, even a Christian priest actually went into battle with them. I mean I've seen that recorded history. I mean it's the urge to fight and destroy. It has to be there. Sadly, it's a tragic thing, but it is. It has to be there, and it's hard to sublimate it or whatever. It's hard to change
But
people's
getting back
perspective.
to what I originally said with Trump's news conference or whatever when he was talking, and he talked, well, in my opinion, he talked bad about our ally Israel.
Right?
Did he not rip that scab off?
Yeah, he
And do
did.
you think this is the beginning of the end for Israel? I mean, you I think they're going to be reborn. Well, I guess reborn is that a bad word?
Well, they might
They're
have.
going to be. They're going to change. They're the actual ones that are going to. They're the ones that need the regime change.
Yeah,
They
that's
need to get. Who wants a guy who's BB?
yeah,
My name is BB.
yeah.
That's a really manly name,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's my first time I heard of it. I think
You,
BB Smart. I
he
went, who's
picked that,
BB?
but he picked that name.
Yeah.
He can pick any name he wants because that's what prime ministers do.
Well, he picked the name of Netanyahu because that wasn't the name he was born with.
But I'm saying he picked BB.
Right. I just think maybe it translates to different things in Hebrew or something, but I don't care. It just sounds silly by our standards. So I mean, and let's face it, our names would sound stupid in other cultures, but I mean that's the way it is. You can't deal it. But no, I think definitely he did pull the scab off. And but if see, I think the
Oh
Israel.
no, I think he's upset. I think he's done with them.
No,
Think about it. How many times we've seen Ivanka or his great
son-in-law. Yeah,
son-in-law?
yeah.
Forgive me.
Um,
You
uh,
don't. You remember he was like an architect of his last administration.
right.
He's nowhere to be seen this time around.
Yeah, you got a point there. But what I'm going to say though, but see, I don't know if I think the Israelis or the Israeli leadership, I'll put it this way, are so arrogant. They're going to just say he's wrong, we're right. We're not. They're not going to change. And I think
Well,
they're doing that to their peril if they
I
do
think
that.
that Trump is a different type of president
Well,
that they're used to.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because they're
They're not used to being told what to do.
well, they're not used to a person who's had success in the real world. Let's face it, all politicians do is going to get a good elected and get
I
reelected.
mean,
He
let's
doesn't
get
have
it straight. I don't hate Israel.
no
I just want them to get along with their neighbors.
right, and they're I can't see how this is going
And I
to.
think they owe reparate. If anybody owes real reparations, Israel owes
Well,
reparations to
shit.
the Palestinians.
They're
And to deny that the Palestinian never existed,
yeah. It's like
that the Palestines that wasn't a thing.
yeah. It's like I mean, there's maps from the 1800s that has that designated as Palestine or Palestinia. It's ridiculous argument. They never existed. Well, that's a load of crap because in the Bible, in the King James, that was a translation that was done in the 1600s, and the modern state of Israel didn't come about until 1948. That's a long expanse of time, folks. Okay, so I
And
mean,
I would argue that you could do a DNA search on the average
yeah,
Palestinian,
right.
or what we've referred to as Palestinians, and you could trace their lineage back
They claim that's what
all
they.
the way back,
That's okay.
and probably to Abraham.
Well, okay, the people of Abraham, the Abraham came from what we consider northern Iraq. He was a Chaldean or Chaldean, different background. He came from there. He came down what they call the Canaanite, in the land of Canaanites. Okay, he lived amongst them. Things happened. Somehow they ended up in Egypt, and and they came out of it. Moses let them out. I'm really doing paraphrase here, but the people who are okay, here's a scenario. You had people who are Jewish living around Israel, even at the time of Christ, that they were conquered nations. They've been conquered several times at that point. They have been dealing with conquerors for years. Now you got people living there. They retain their Jewishness because a lot of people, other governments didn't make them change their religion. But then they're wrong. They become Christian when that movement started, and then
What do you
some
mean?
become.
I'm saying they retain their Jewishness as their religion,
Well, oh, they're just
not as a ethnicity or people.
right. That's true. That's and if you
When
look.
they were religious,
Right. And you can look at the scripture and it doesn't make it a racial thing. It's whoever wants to become you, you have to follow the laws of this of ours and acknowledge God as God, the supreme God, the ultimate God, the only one. I mean, that's all that was required. It wasn't the idea of race and stuff as we see it nowadays is kind of a very recent, probably the past 200-year
well,
invention.
but Nixon is the one that started the Hispanic and all.
Yeah.
But getting back to what we were saying, that the Palestinians have a lineage
Right.
where the average Jew
Nothing.
does not. I
No.
mean, they're European.
Well, even if they have it, a mixture of the DNA, the indications they look for is things that are common amongst those people from the Levant, the region that we were talking about, Palestine. I think it might include part of Israel. I don't know the full expanse, but it's like referred to collectively as Levant. Okay, they have some DNA markers that are consistent with that. But when Ben Shapiro said he's 100% Ashkenazi Jew, which means he is
He's
consistent.
European.
He's a mixture. He's the right mixture of European ancestry with a bit of Semitic ancestry or bloodline, or the markers consistent with those from the Levant. You got to be very careful of how you word this stuff because, typically speaking, Semitic is not a DNA class or whatever. It is more of a language group or language designation, not ethnicity. Okay,
Primarily speaking Arabic.
Arabic or people Semitic languages. I mean,
Right.
yeah, written right to left is a permanent chief fall. I mean, I go to a Syrian church. That's a Semitic language.
Yeah.
Actually, the island of Malta actually had a Semitic language. So I mean, no, so
But
that's
they bastardized the word with
well,
the
yeah,
anti-Semitic.
they took it for themselves, and I mean, well, Helen Thomas, remember that correspondent? She said
Yeah.
during especially in the Clinton era, she goes, they should go back to about the Jewish people, they should go back to Poland. Well, she was from a Lebanese family background, and to her, they were the intruders. Okay, they lived. And another thing is, it wasn't hard fast. Well, oh, these are Lebanese, these are Jordanians. They had family members, and they were going back and forth. There was no divisions on that. That was done by Winston Churchill. He actually came back and quit with a
It
slip
wasn't
of.
a Truman too.
Well, Truman would have been after, yeah, right, because that
Yeah.
was right after
He
Roosevelt
put the
died.
nail in the coffin.
Yeah, but he said, yeah, with a slip of pen, I created Transjordan, and he thought it was witty. I mean, I mean, I'm not a leftist. When I used to hear stuff like this, I used to think, well, you guys are leftists. It's the reality. The Western powers inserted themselves in the Middle East, and then they're wondering why they don't. And the thing is, I have talked to people who hated the government of the United States from the Middle East, and they were always very kind to the Americans. They would say, "I hate your government, but I like you."
Everywhere I went it in the army, people have welcomed me with open arms.
It's like I've never, I've
Everywhere you would think, like Iraq, or that they would. No, they were happy to see us.
So I mean, yeah, that's what I've always got. No, of course, I didn't go to foreign lands like you did, but all the ones I've dealt with here always treat me very compassionately, very with hospitality. I'm actually, I don't think that. I don't have a problem with them. I don't see. I'm supposed to hate them because my government says, and they are our best ally. Israel demands it. Well, I have a hard time doing that on command.
And the average person does. With the internet, the way it is with instant gratification, you can find out anything you want. You don't have to go to Fox News. You don't have to go to CNN. You can go to TikTok. You can find the news somewhere
Right.
about anything, and that's what kids are doing because their head is in their phone,
That's it.
and that goes back to Bigfoot in the Yokiro Taco Bell. I don't know what the Taco Bell Chihuahua's name is,
I don't forget that.
but to have these things come back. I mean, I remember they banished him what like 15 years ago because
Yeah.
he was racist.
Yeah.
To have a little Chihuahua running around saying Yokiro Taco Bell, that upsets so many people.
Well, see, the thing is, it's usually the
But
white
it's
liberal.
back. But it's back on
but
TikTok.
but it's usually the white liberal who always says that they're speaking out because these people are offended. I don't like.
But now people are laughing at that
Yeah,
type of person now.
yeah, like Speedy Gonzalez. Okay, the one from the cartoons.
Yeah.
The Mexican guys I grew up loved this. I mean, they didn't have a big issue with it. They knew it was
He
just
had a big gun.
Yeah.
Not Speedy, Slowpoke.
Slowpoke. I don't remember that one.
Slowpoke had a big gun. He'd shoot people.
I mean, I mean, let's face it. Well, I don't. Maybe we shouldn't make fun of each other, but we do.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, it's like if you didn't have it, you wouldn't have any sense
That's
of
all
humor.
we did is just picked on each other in the army
Well, it's like
for our shortcomings or whatever. If you had like a facial tick or one lisp or
Right.
this is going to get pointed out pretty fast.
it's like well, it's like. Have you ever seen the movie Biloxi Blues?
Yeah.
I mean, like this guy was getting. He goes, we call Paul. He's from New York. We call each other Paul like a Jew or this. He goes, guess what? We're all the same. We were all the same neighborhood. It didn't mean anything, and that's the way it should be. My brother's last name is Belinsky, a Polish name.
Yeah.
He used to come back with the best Polish jokes. He had his father's family is Polish, so I mean, different dads, same mom. So I mean, you can't take it seriously, folks.
No, because remember growing up with Polish jokes.
Yeah. I mean, it always made them stupid, but they weren't. Most Polish people I knew were very, very intelligent. My brother excelled in math and science. He had a full ride scholarship to Michigan Tech after high school. So I mean, yeah, I mean, no, he's not stupid. He's
No, it was no big deal. I told Polish jokes in school. The teachers didn't. I don't know. When we became touchy feely, things went to crap.
no. I mean, now, if you're going to, I mean, now, and okay. Another thing is too. Okay, I'm heavier than I should be. That's apparent, but I don't like the idea. When I was a kid, going and find a 2XL Huskies was actually hard to find in the stores. Now you go to Walmart, you can get 6L pants and XL pants and or 6 or 7XL shirts.
Oh
We're
yeah, you can find fat boy stuff everywhere
Right.
now. I mean, now that I've lost so much, well, you can't tell, but I lost a lot of weight. I'm having a harder time finding clothes that fit me.
Yeah, because
I have to buy fat boy clothes.
just because it's something's current doesn't mean it should be immediately embraced. Because guess what? Health issues are going to greatly increase the more girth you have. I know that, and I'm not saying self righteously. I have too much girth myself, but it's reality, and I fight it. You know that I walk miles and miles and miles a day, do everything I can, but try to just avoid eating after a certain time of day and stuff. But I still keep the weight on. But I mean, I don't think we should embrace it, and I like that real a large performer black woman, who wears skimpy clothes, Lizzo or something.
Yeah, but she's not anymore.
Oh,
she
lost
got on
weight?
Ozempic.
Oh, okay.
Or she got on something and lost all the weight and got in shape. Then they bitched at her for losing the weight.
Because you can't live that way. I mean, I grew up heavy, and I remember my dad said something. Now, some people he'd have to face what is like protective services for saying this. He said, "You're digging your grave with your teeth." Now he was a fat kid too, though. He was over 300 pounds before he got drafted in the army, and in like 3 months he lost 100 some pounds. That's a drastic weight loss. It probably saved his life.
Yeah.
It probably saved his life, but no, I mean, he said that, and it was stuck with me. And I started researching how to lose weight. I exercised, lost weight. I went down to 175 pounds at one time. So, I mean, I haven't gone there that low
But
in
even
20 years, but
there's still you can be a little bit chubbier, and still feel good.
yeah, I mean, matter of fact, I think you should have a few spare pounds in case
Well,
you
that's
do.
what Sergeant Major said. With the PT standards, the Army getting all these physically fit guys. He'd been to Vietnam and a couple other places. He said, somebody like you could take a couple bullets.
Right? Yeah.
A skinny dude, one bullet's going to take him out.
Right. I mean, it's like it's
If you could get shot and you could live.
yeah. It's like, I mean, it's fat. Let's face it. I mean, you just okay, remove that part of the fat that didn't damage and toss
But
it.
what he's saying
But
is true.
well, it is. I mean,
Well, you're physically fit, but if you get shot, you're going to die.
it's just some people just another thing is too. I mean, I've seen people take hits, the recorded things. Or they actually had the recordings of it take several hits, but they're so determined they didn't succumb to the wounds and they actually survived it ultimately. So I mean, it's a mental thing. You got to have a mental thing as well as a physical thing in the combat. You know that. But no, I just think that fat shaming is not good. I don't like to make fun of people who are fat.
But you should be able to. I mean, you should be able to without going to jail.
No, that's absurd too. I mean, okay, don't like it, cry. You're gonna hurt me.
I mean, how would you like to be like Germany? To say something bad about a politician and the police come and visit you in the middle of the night.
They do that in England too. Yeah.
But is that crazy?
It's just we're getting to that point. I mean, when if that guy who wins, who just won the primary and for the mayoral candidacy.
Okay, they say he's a bad guy, but is he?
Well, see,
we don't know.
Well, see, he says a social. They say I don't know who's. I mean, I can't.
He could have just been saying, "Come on, man." Nobody can be that brainless.
We hope not. But
no, I mean, you want to know why he got elected?
Yeah,
because what he said about Israel. When they were asking him about all these politicians on the stage,
right?
Where are you going to go? I'm going to go to Israel.
Oh, the Holy Land.
For my first trip will be. He said, I'm going to go right here and talk to the Jewish people right here in New York.
Well, remember you ran for office. And people called you, or that one woman in particular called and asked about what your stance was, something about
abortion.
An abortion. I was like, okay, you're running for something to deal as germane to a township. It has nothing to do upon the national scale for the abortion or abortion rights or anti-abortion rights. And yet she was like detached from that. That was her ballywick. That was her focus. I mean, it was stupid.
Well, it was her focus. It was also she wanted me to answer a question on a premise, and I told her, I want to see the bill before I would want to see it before I can make any comments on it. And because of that, she wouldn't let me put my sign in front of the Right to Life.
So I think it's like it was
Judith Clymer.
Yeah, yes, I can share. Well, the thing is, like I did I responded. I was on a Bridget Gabriel's thing on online, on Facebook. And I said, I saw that mayoral clip and stuff and what he said, and some people, oh yeah, and Bridget Gabriel is a very anti-Muslim person and all that. And she's sort of lived through experience. I can't denounce what she's saying, but anyway, and what his response to me was like intelligent. He's going to be the mayor of a city,
of the city and of the people. He doesn't need to go to Israel to talk to Jews. No. There's Jews, right? There's Hasidic Jews,
right?
Williamsburg
section of Brooklyn. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's like another.
If you got it all corded off with wires so they can walk around.
Yeah, so they can get around that loophole. but the thing is, the city of New York City, I think, is around 8-9 million people.
Probably.
Okay, they're roughly the size of Israel right there. So I mean, why does he have to go and find out more problems to bring into his?
Probably spend $1 million with his entourage.
Right. Yeah, to go
to get educated.
Yeah, to go bob at the wall.
Israel.
Yeah, to go bob at the wall.
Yeah, at a wall that may not even be the wall that they say it is.
I mean, I don't see. I couldn't do that. I mean, I'm not running for office. I just couldn't do that.
I bet you if Trump had it to do over again, he would have never went to.
I think he was trying. I mean, if that's respectfulness, I guess I don't.
No, it's not. I don't think you should down their garb to do it.
No.
Why do you need to put on the beanie and everything?
No, it's like
I mean, that's not your religion.
No, it's not my religion.
And what did Jesus Christ say about praying? Praying in public?
Yeah, so do not you do that because basically it's you're drawing attention to yourself.
Did he point out when he was talking about it? Who
the Pharisees and the
Jews,
right? Or the Jews.
Jews love to be in public.
Yeah,
praying when Jesus Christ said that that's something that you do in private.
Right, you should go to your closet and pray. I mean, everything. But I can't. They
got to get that picture. They got to get the picture of the world leader with the beanie on their head.
Right, I can't see myself doing that. Okay, maybe when I was a teenager, because I did visit a synagogue once, and I wore the yarmulke once. And when I was there, that was their church. I respected that church, but that was their temple or whatever. I went there respectfully, but I mean,
but would you do it again? I wouldn't.
No, I don't see the.
No, I mean, if you went, would you?
No,
I wouldn't down.
I don't think I'd go again.
That's not part of my religion.
No, I don't think it's going to put.
I don't even understand what it's supposed to represent.
It's supposed to be like to not be boastful and to to show
What,
some
the
respect.
hat?
Yeah, that's what they're. Yeah, and see,
So what about the box?
the box actually is the prayer. There actually is in the the Old
There's
Testament.
prayers in there.
There's a written parchment with the
How
prayer.
do they read it if it's on their head?
No, but it's a mandate from one of the Old Testament books, or actually it's found in two different places about write this up on your foreheads, up on the doorposts and stuff
But
about
it
the
doesn't
Word of
say
God.
put it in a box and wear it on your head.
Well, it
with a
says put it on your
ribbon,
forehead, but it does say wear it up on your forehead. It
but
does
they
say that.
wear it up here.
Well, I guess the policing could be matter, but I mean that's where they're supposed to be according the Teflon,
But
the
it's like, look
phylacteries,
at
yeah.
me, I'm religious. I got a box on my head.
Right. I mean, I don't understand. I'm not going to degrade it, but I mean, I don't see the point of it. But I mean, they also have like mezuzahs, which are like in the doorways and stuff. It has that
It's
parchment
like a
in
kazoo.
it. I wouldn't say that. No, it's just a box. It's got a little container. It's got this parchment in it, and it's it's significant to them. I mean,
Oh, I
I
understand about
but
stuff like that, about people putting prayers
it's
in their house, and
it's just supposed to remind you of your obligations. That's
yeah,
what it's supposed
that's
to be.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I can't mock that, but I mean, for me
But the thing
participating,
about
no.
down in their garb
Mhm.
and kissing their wall, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you putting your hand on a wall like you're gonna? What are you supposed to feel? That's what I don't understand. Who's supposed to touch that wall that you just touched? That means so much.
Well, I don't understand it because I said I'm taking the
No,
historical
I'm
account.
asking. I mean,
I
what's the
don't
point
I
of the
don't know.
wall?
It's beyond me, but they do that
You
for me.
got all these people that put their hand to it. You see them, some of them crying.
Well, I guess it's an emotional experience for. I can't rule that out. I mean, but I can't engage in that. It doesn't mean that much to me. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, okay, it's historical the wall. If it's part of the
But
remnant
I
of the
think if
temple,
Trump
I
had
don't know.
to do it over again, I don't think he would do that part.
I hope not, but I mean, but I think I probably agree with you on that because I mean, the anger he showed the other day. I mean, I was
Genuinely.
I applauded it. I went, yeah, you redeemed yourself somewhat because I didn't even want I didn't even want the bombing going on. I didn't even want that.
No.
I didn't because I mean to me that's still helping them out too much. You guys got yourself into it. And I hate when people say, "Well, Israel." I mean, Iran attacked at
I
Israel.
mean, wouldn't
Oh,
it have been
yes,
better to go send Israeli special forces in and take it over and get pictures of this stuff instead of blowing it up?
oh,
I mean, they're supposed to be elite, right?
right. Well, how many people they got left though? I mean, this war's been. I mean, they've taken a lot of Palestinians. Destroyed them, kill them, and we're not going to try to sugarcoat it. But I mean, it also had to have they have had some attrition going on in their own ranks, and all the people fleeing to Cyprus and other places. I mean, yeah, but they want Americans to insert their shoulder into this conflict, but they themselves are not willing to take part in it. I think that's
But
bullshit.
okay, but how long will this pacify Netanyahu before he's on to the next
No, it won't.
war?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
This was supposed to be the end all to be a be all. That this was it.
right,
That because remember he said that we need to make sure they don't have nukes.
right.
Because they don't have nukes, they don't even have an air force anymore.
So what's their
So
threat?
so now what? What's the threat assessment now?
Yeah, I mean,
Who's he going to go after next?
well, for what he said, he basically another thing is too. Okay, the look at this isolated by itself is bad enough. What they did, Israel did to Iran, but when they struck, what was it, Syria? They killed off an Iranian diplomat in Syria, killing both the Iranian and as well as the Syrian and destroying the embassy or whatever they're in Syria. That's destroying this. That's ignoring the sovereignty of nations. Whose right do they have to that?
I don't know.
Okay, if you and I were the United States,
Lindsey Graham, according to him, I guess the Senate,
no, they don't have the right.
that little pickle pecker.
Oh God, I can't stand that guy.
Oh, he's come out a couple times.
He just wants
Yeah,
war.
him and Levin.
Oh,
Mark Levin's another winner.
I just there's a movie that came out. It's called Alliance for Lambs, and it was like a reference to the First World War, where the people were sitting back, more experienced soldiers, basically watching these young kids get killed in the First World War, and they're saying it's like we're trading our lions, we're trading our lions for for the lions. Basically the people who are toothless lions. The old men back in London or whatever, part of Germany who made the decisions. That's what I mean. People, we have the power. If they want to create a war, if we refuse to go, I mean, that's
Oh, I mean, we've argued about this before.
right.
I think if tomorrow some weird thing happened, that there was a draft, no one would go.
See,
And how many videos have I sent you
yeah.
where the kids are actually saying, send me to jail?
Okay, well, it's like, well, you're not going to get student loans. So what? Doesn't mean even if people are
Well,
not that.
they're doing them a favor.
Right. I mean, it's like you get buried in loans and stuff. I mean, to me, as just we have and it's like, you and I talked about this. Americans take great pride in talking about their family members who served in the war, which is good because, but we never question why were we being sent to these wars, being
Oh,
sent to
I
these
do
wars.
now. I mean, I think about it. I mean, the bullshit that I did. Why was it really worth it?
No, I mean,
I mean, I enjoyed being in the army, and I like being with the people that I was with. It's like my second family.
right. So, and I'm not, and believe me, man, I mean, I've never trashed anybody who served because they went with there in good faith. And anything that they get from
Well,
like the VA
well, I mean, I
benefits,
kept
where
on signing that paper.
right, they signed it. They,
I signed it for 22 years,
yeah. So I
so I
mean,
must have liked it.
yeah, I think it's because it gives purpose to life. It gives purpose. It gives you everything change, scenery and things like that. I mean, it gives you something. It gives you some meaning in life, and that's not a bad thing. You can't. I'm not going to
Let me
mock
tell you, it
that.
was a major deflation when it was over.
Yeah.
I mean, not because of just because of the camaraderie and the people around you. It's a different type of people in the military.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because they were willing to commit to each
Oh,
other
and
and work for
then
each
then to
other.
be come here and be thrown to the wolves in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah,
This is different type of
yeah,
people up here.
yeah. So you're. I mean, I can understand that. That's your group. I mean, you're like, I guess you could say tribe. I mean, these people that you've
You
have
knew
to
you could
face that,
trust them.
huh?
You trust
You
them,
trust them. They had your back.
especially if somebody said they were going to do something in the army
Right?
or in the military.
They did it. Yeah.
They did it or died trying.
And it's like, see, that's I can understand that. I mean,
But here, a lot of people say a lot of that they'll do things that they never intend to do.
right. I can understand that the esprit de corps. I mean, the camaraderie and all that. That can't be overlooked, mocked.
I
I'm
mean,
not
all
going to
you
do
got
that.
is your word,
Right. That's it.
and
Eh,
people don't give a shit about their word anymore.
No, they don't. And let's face it, though, who's made it easy to walk away from your promises? The lawyers. And well, did you sign a paper? Well, no, then it doesn't mean nothing. It's not enforceable. I mean,
The loophole Lennies.
right? Yeah. And I mean, I like the fact that people. Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of military people, and especially career people, and I did find that they would keep their word. They would have your back. I mean, sometimes when they
Well, it was hard, especially transitioning into civilian job and putting in too much. I mean, I hate to say it, I had to learn to pull back.
right,
That you were trained. I was trained in the military that you do what you're supposed to do and then some.
right.
And it would piss off people around me. Then you're doing too much. You're making us look bad.
Yeah, that's what I would
Man,
call.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I thought that's what we were supposed to do.
So I saw that at U of M when I was working there. I mean, I would try to help out because we're working with students where I was at, and I tried to be more accommodating to the students, and they said I'd get chastised for that.
Or being put in a position over people and expect in having your employer give you standards that you're supposed to carry out, and then when you carry the standards out and the subordinates
Then
bitch about it, then you're the bad person, even though it's their standards that they're not living up to.
yeah,
It was a big learning
you
experience.
throw you on the bus. Basically, that's what they did. So I mean, made you look like the jerk. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean, you had to learn.
yeah. I
I mean
mean,
but that's what's good about being in the military too. You do like gunny highway, learn, adapt,
mm,
overcome.
right.
You learn to do that.
It's like, well, this is the way
I
they roll. I
mean,
have to do
I
it.
don't know how many situations I've been in. This is what we're doing. This is what we got to do. Go do it.
And basically a lot of times you were probably in unfamiliar territory too. I mean,
Yeah.
skill wise or anything else, you had to adapt. You had to take what you did know and try to apply it. I mean, no, I just no, I think the
But I
military.
think the world's. I mean, I was scared, and you were scared because we were talking on the phone. I think we're more upset.
Mhm,
But after Trump blew up,
yeah,
I think the world is a different place.
I was
I mean,
furious.
it's a whole different place
Uh,
than it was because you can tell that that man has he has drawn a red line in the sand,
yeah,
a real line in the sand with Israel, letting them know under no certain terms that this is it, buddy.
right.
You got what you wanted. Now stop acting like a bitch.
Just we can't keep on doing this. We can't. I don't. I think I told you our daily giving to Israel for defensive is $2 million a day.
Well,
Now it's up to 58
it's
million,
$350 million a year.
million or billion.
billion. I'm sorry,
and
enough to make what every Jew like a millionaire like
in that country.
9 times over.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we know it's applied to the this
Oh,
services and
and to
stuff.
find out that Israel is not gonna they're gonna lower their tariffs
Oh, that's
with it.
wonderful.
Okay, we give them all that money and they still tariff us.
Yeah, just and also want our
Ha,
blood. Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, I just
How do you give somebody money and they say, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna put a tariff on you.
what's
We're
bizarre.
gonna tax you."
Another thing is bizarre to me is we don't have the income coming in. We are living beyond our means. We're borrowing money, but we're borrowing money to give to give to Israel and other nations for their defense.
What do you say? What's that saying? We're welfare rich.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're big at bringing in the
We're
money. So
welfare. We're like
it's my phone.
old lady on Bridge Card Friday buying steaks and lobster,
Right, that's
and then Monday mornings bologna and crackers.
yeah, that's the truth, man. I mean, we're and the thing is, these people are not appreciative. They take it, they scarf it down, if you want to use that analogy, and they're going to say, no, where's that? Where's more at? Where's more at? Give us more, give us more, give us more. Oh, you're an anti-Semite if you want to give us more money.
Okay, I'm a proud anti-Semite.
I'm just
I'm
sick of that
thinking about
term.
getting the T-shirt.
I'm
Proud
too. I'm
anti-Semite.
sick of it. If you got to go along with everything they say or do, they'll talk about the Israelis and stuff, or you're an anti-Semite. I'm sick of it.
Or you're a racist.
I'm like, okay. I always thought murder was high on the priority,
Or
not to do things,
or
but okay,
you're an anti-Semite racist boomer.
yeah.
And that pisses me off. I'm not a boomer, dude.
No, I just
Too
I'm
young to be a
I'm
boomer.
talking about I hate the demographic thing. Okay, I mean, all these sociologists. Okay, the people always tell you you're not supposed to pigeonhole, stereotype, or categorize
They're
people
the
are the ones
ones
doing
doing
that.
it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, you live in this demographic, and you don't see. You know what? Do you think anybody's actually hasn't been influenced by the other things coming up after their time on Earth, and they see things coming up, and they said they have to adjust to it? You don't think they're actually knowing, learning more all the time? They're not adapting. This is BS. Okay, saying that they're like totally
Well, the
shut off
thing
from that
is, you
reality.
don't have to. You can get away with. You can live in your mom and dad's house and blame it on boomers
Right.
until you're 30 years old, or your mom and dad kicks off and you inherit the house.
Well, okay, I guess what I
I
lived
mean,
on my
that's the
own.
way it used to
Yeah, I
be.
mean, it's like
I'm no farmer. I'm farmers. That's the way it used to
yeah, I
be.
mean, I don't see a big. I mean, another thing is too, the reason why people wanted you to move out and stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have a wife and kids
Because
and live with my
they
parents.
were still seeding the United States.
Right,
They were still trying to expand
right.
communities in different states.
But the people who actually benefited off of the ideas of apartments, you got to go. You're 19 years old. You got to have your apartment, your
No,
bachelor pad.
I hated apartments.
I did hate
I hated
apartment.
apartment. I lived in a trailer for a minute too. I
Yeah,
hated. Well, it was sort of cool living in that box until
yeah.
they heated up.
Like it's like it would be miserable without air
Oh,
conditioning.
it was miserable with that heck
It's
because we bought it or we got it. Me and another guy, and the electricity wasn't turned on in Texas.
oh my god.
That bitch was hot.
It's like it's basically it was like a
A
song.
tin can.
It was like basically you're somebody just like to toss to turn you over for a few minutes and make sure all the like evenly roasted. I mean, it would be miserable. I mean, I've been in
But at least I wasn't living on post.
right. Yeah, that was probably bad too, wasn't it?
But no,
Yeah,
it was fun.
it was fun living
It
there.
was crazy sometimes.
I remember my friend who actually been. I met him in college. He went to.
I mean, it's like living in a dorm.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said another thing is too back and forth. He was at Fort Benning, and he said, "Yeah, I'm 17 years old." He said outside of my dorms or whatever they call it, they were just down the thing. There was like vending machines for beer. You know,
That was in Germany,
yeah.
but not in the
Oh,
States.
I thought he had. He said it was maybe he did do Germany, but I know he said right down the
Fort Benning. Well, when I first joined the army, yeah, military post. You only had to be 18
right. So he's
to
like,
drink on any military post. And I'm trying to. I can't remember. I think there were on Fort Benning. I think there were vending machines by the bar.
yeah, because he said he drank beer when you said he was
But I know in Germany we had them.
because he wasn't even finished high school. He went like in the summer and he came back and went finished high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he did like 12, 14 years total in he did the reserves and National Guard and stuff. And he got money to go to college on briefly. But no, I mean he did it. He said it was a learning experience and he's a guy who was actually very skilled in different things himself anyway. So and his dad had been a Green Beret. So
But okay, but 2 days ago, like I said, we were both feeling down. But Like I said, I feel the world is in a different place today.
Well, I had to go to 2 different sources to make sure that wasn't
Oh,
a
I thought it
computer.
was fake.
I thought it was fake
I thought
too.
I was waiting for it to say deep fake.
Yeah, because God, I said, "Wow, he put it." You can't. There's no place to go with this other than what he's saying. Okay.
What did he
And
say?
yeah, you go. They
They
fucking don't
don't know what
know
the fuck
what they're
they're
doing.
doing.
I mean, it's
They didn't need a T-shirt
no. I mean,
that says that.
I think I don't know. I mean, it's a yeah. I mean, I was so pissed at him. I had called a friend. I owe you apology, Christina and Jeff. I owe you guys apology. He redeemed himself the other day. He did. I mean, I was so furious.
I
I
think
didn't
I
want the
was
bombing.
more angry than you, right?
Oh yeah,
Because you
we're
even said, "I can't say anything because you'll yell at me."
yeah, I was trying to be the voice of reason, which was hard to do because I mean I'm sorry to I guess you don't love America. You don't want to go kill a bunch of people from a foreign country. I guess I am. I don't want to kill a bunch of people from another country, and then I can hear them teaching that history class for down the generations of how bad America was because we want to kill these innocent people. Yeah, I would like to see that a possibility removed. Okay, I'd like to see that. I mean, it angers me. Yes, I mean, we already have enough crap to deal with, and our people have to deal
I'm
with. But
sorry, you just remind me of what that joke. How can you kill women and children? You just don't lead them as much.
God, I mean, it's crap. I mean,
No, I mean not. I'm not saying that
no,
that I want to.
no, no.
It just reminds me of that joke.
I mean, it's just I don't know I don't know anybody who's supposed to be a Christian can overlook what's going on in Gaza and say that's okay. They're our allies, and we can't overlook this because they're God's chosen. I can't buy that. Do not kill, do not murder is in the big.
Do
What?
you feel like God's chosen
Do I
as
feel
a
like
Christian, even
no.
though you know you are?
Well, I feel that I think that it's something I gotta try to constantly make sure that I'm being a good
And do you think
example
that
of.
you have to be born more than once? That just because you do it one time? Don't you
Well,
think it's an everyday thing?
Well, it's like, well, I think their born again experience. I think that initial response is that's the day you acknowledge it. But it was like renewing your mind goes on. When you're reading scripture, you're going to church, you're actually associating with other Christians, and they're bouncing ideas off you, and they're admonishing you, and you're admonishing them. That's how you grow as a Christian. But no, that one but you have constantly got to weigh your own. I don't believe that once they'd always say like, you could become a sinner, you go back into horrible sin again, and you're covered. I have a hard time buying that. Maybe scripturally it's
And
covered,
how
but I
do you
don't have it.
feel? I think some of the best Christians I ever met don't go to church.
Yeah, I'd have to say that's true too. I mean, I've
The
known
most knowledgeable. I mean,
well, they know that they don't want to associate with anybody around them, any organized body. I mean, but I go to Syrian Church of the East. I mean, that wasn't something my background. I mean, and I'm not a Syrian, but theologically, I mean, I can't say too much. I
but
can
you
pick
got to
apart.
admit, the grape leaves do call.
Oh, those are so good, man. People, the after service brunch they
The
have is
stuffed grape
phenomenal.
leaves.
Stuffed grape leaves, stuffed peppers, and all kinds of a lentil soup that no restaurant even comes close to, man. And yeah, you ever had
And
that?
then,
Oh, so good, man. I mean, somebody brings it. One of the people from Warren, I think, brings it up. Well, the other people here make a real good variety of it too.
the baklava, if they ever bring it.
Oh yeah, it's like we're on the holidays more, but it's just an incredible feed. I mean, feast. You never know what you're going to have, and they're just. And another thing is,
And goat. How many other times you had goat?
we had goat a couple times, and we've had lamb. We've had, and then one woman is a vegetarian, so she brings in her dolma, the grape leaves that are made without turmeric. She makes them spicy, and they're so incredible, man. But I mean, they're good people, and the service is in Aramaic, which is the language Christ would have spoke. It's got English translations. She a little bit of Aramaic.
I
So I
mean,
mean,
you can see it on YouTube
yeah,
under all points,
yeah, it's like a
or you can go to Rumble.
yeah,
Rumble on Omni Orbis Church,
Marshmallow Barsabai church here in Flint, Michigan.
or you can get Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook too. So, but anyway, I know I think that I think I don't know. I just Trump, man, you really get my respect back.
Well,
You
I'll
did.
leave you with this. Do you think there's going to be another election?
Oh yeah,
And
but
if so, do you think because they can't be a fake? There can't be the next person has to be genuine.
all right.
And do we have a genuine
No,
Republican?
no. I even Vance, and I don't think Vance has already got the Medica, approval of the stamp on from Trump either. At this point, I don't think he has. I don't know who's going to be it because the rest of them are just career
I
politicians.
mean, do you think Ted Cruz cut his own throat?
Yeah, yeah, that's stupidity. I
But
mean,
do you? Because I brought up to you, it was like he was
thrown under the bus.
thrown under the bus and forced to do that. That because you would have to be stupid. to go on Tucker Carlson and take those stances without. You would think if you were going to say some of the things he's supposed to be a well polished politician.
Right.
That's a lot of polishing.
Yeah, it's a lot of polish.
A lot of P's.
Right.
But he's supposed to be well polished and know what he's talking about. He didn't know anything.
No, he didn't. I mean, if you're using this, you're going to use this to justify your stance on.
You should be able.
You should have to articulate it.
I mean, he's
correctly.
He is a master debater.
Right. And it could be easily changed one really quick.
But he is.
But
I mean, he is good.
Yeah, he is good. But I mean, he doesn't know what. I mean, he was out of his element, and it's because guess what? Even if you're an atheist, you got to understand bad theology can lead to bad outcomes, even if you're not part of the body of Christ. I mean, we have been misled by dispensationalism.
But to say something like, I learned it in Sunday school, some Bible verse.
Yeah. It's like, so, yeah, don't you know?
But I've only been doing this, 2 years? Maybe?
Right. And you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
You learned a lot in the time.
At least I know the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament.
And another thing is too, you also know that you also know that there doesn't say Israel, the promise is it's to Abraham, and you have to read up further before that verse to understand that.
You have to understand it. Jesus is Israel,
right?
And Jesus is the church.
Right, the people of the followers of the faith, those who have the faith of Abraham. But also, you're not supposed to vilify or demonize or trash the people who are from the original, the original olive tree, because you're grafted onto it. It's in Romans, and that's throughout the books of Romans and stuff like that. You have to read the entire book.
But I understood that on my own. Right, nobody had to tell me that.
Right, because you probably just perused
it to see all this stuff. And
it's like when I saw that, I went, "Did he just say that? Did he? I can't believe you went to church, you went to Sunday school. This is the basis for your support." Well, that and how many hundreds of thousands you got from APAC. Why don't you just say that? They paid me a lot of money, man. Okay, that's it. I mean, what? Nearly close to well over $1 million.
But think about these people in APAC. They could have done a better job of preparing people with like a study guide or some kind of notes about how to explain why Jews are the chosen people.
Yeah, flyers might be expensive, but guess what? It'd probably be a good money spent well if you actually give it to the people so they can say, well, I got this reference point and I have to memorize this. Get his staff together and help him work that out. But no, he was pathetic. I'm sorry. I mean, and the thing is, I consider myself somewhat of a Bible scholar, but he's saying he's in a position where he's making political choices for the United States based upon his understanding of theology, and it's wrong.
Or what about praising the United States, saying it's the greatest country next to Israel?
Yeah, who said that?
Oh man, one of Trump's cabinet members. I forget what her name is.
I mean,
but that was a big letdown. How could you say that?
It's like you are representing the United States. If you choose to want to
next to Israel,
yeah, go to Israel and become one of them, and so you could represent them. Okay,
because it's not that easy to become.
No, you can't. Let's face it.
I don't even know if you actually wanted to. I don't know if you could become an Israeli citizen.
Was it Mike Huckabee or Beck?
Glenn Beck. Yeah, he wrote that love letter to Israel,
and he's a Mormon. So
my God, that was sickening.
I mean, it's like.
And then he still tries to come out. I'm not going to take sides between Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz.
Tucker Carlson is gaining my respect more and more because I mean, there's not everything I agree with. I mean, but him, Ted, if you're hearing this or somebody's going to send it to you, go to Bible study once in a while.
I thought he had finally come around, to tell you the truth. I had more respect for Ted Cruz after the debates, after he got beat up by Trump.
Yeah,
but I thought that he would become a good politician if there's a such thing.
Well, the best ones, I think, the best politicians have been dead for 10 years, and you go visit the cemeteries. I mean, that's the way I look at it, because that way there's crap that they pulled you largely forget, And
then another thing, did you see Massey's interview on Theo Vaughn?
No, I didn't see that.
Theo Vaughn brought up, he said, why do we call Israel an ally? What did they do for us exactly?
Yeah.
For this money that we give them. And Massey looks at him and says, make other people hate us.
I mean, yeah.
Take us to foreign wars.
So yeah,
get our kids killed.
yeah. I mean, it's like, what have they
But
done?
they're
I mean,
saying that.
yeah.
People are discussing this now.
I mean, remember I was in college and I was just getting on board of this stuff, getting grasp on this stuff, and I'd ask questions, and oh my god, the look of like, you're going to go to hell, or they're going to call the EDL on me because you're questioning our support of Israel. Yeah, I am, and I'm doing that now. If you want to call me out on that, fine. Prove me why. Prove us where they have done anything that's beneficial to the United States. They could say, well, they give information.
What about when he said, should allies be spying on us?
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
well, that's what they
yeah, that's what
they
yeah,
do that.
Yeah, that's when they do that.
We do that too.
Well, look at Pollard, Jonathan Pollard. I mean, he went to prison for a while, then was released to Israel. He tried to encourage all Israelis to become spies for the against the United States. The Jewish people and stuff. I mean, we are a country of over hundreds and hundreds of millions of people. They're a nation of about 9 million people. If I were thinking of depending on these people, the nation, a bigger nation, I'd be more circumspectful of them. You know that?
Okay. 9 million people, and they a couple 100,000 people in Palestine, and they can't take them out.
Right.
I mean, how good of a force are they really?
What's like how many people are fleeing Israel? Are they all old people
right
or
now,
retirees?
they're going to Cyprus.
Yeah, 700,000.
I think they're up to 250,000 Israelis, and they're projected to go up to 607,000.
And that's not a big area.
No,
they can't. I wonder how
they're
long
already talking. They're overwhelmed.
I mean, it's like, well, the thing is, are these people like older people who are no
they
longer?
obviously have means of money.
Yeah, they always do. I mean, I'm sorry, but they do. I mean, everybody I know who was like, I have known people who have dual citizenship, and they flip back and forth between the pond, like the Brits would say, on a regular basis, 3 or 4 or 5 times a year.
Go back anymore.
Oh no, they're not going to. But the thing is, all these people dual citizenship. If you feel so great about it, hey, you're a citizen. Go fight for that country, then. Okay. You're not going to do that, are you? No. You want, and the thing is, if you're 80, 90 years old, I can understand why. But if you're, hey, if I was so gung ho about a country, if somebody starts like my country,
you have to make the decision at 18.
Right.
I mean, that's what happens to a lot of German kids
for the military.
Yeah. They have dual citizenship until they're 18, and they make the decision whether they're going to be American or German.
Yeah. So I know that I had a friend who married a German woman, and they had 2 kids together, and the son had to look. I don't think that was on the women, though, was it?
I don't know. Don't make that mistake.
Yeah, no, don't make that mistake. Yeah. Don't do that again. Yeah, but anyway, though, so you think you want to play the music, or?
Yeah, if you want.
All right.